Okay, so do you remember where you were in 2008? If the answer is you weren't alive yet, please just don't do that to me. That one's gonna hurt me a bit. I was in high school and I was surprisingly popular. And I had really started to notice girls. Like, have you seen girls before? Holy shit. But that all changed. At the end of 2008, when Christmas rolled around and I got an Xbox 360, Halo 3, and Fallout 3. This game, it changed my life. I did play games that was mostly like Need for Speed and all that sort of stuff on a PS2. Never had I played a game like Fallout 3. And I remember playing it and being struck with so many different emotions. Fear being one of the main ones. Never playing a game like this. This game was scary as shit. And I remember several times where I just saved and quit because I couldn't take the tension. Nowadays, this game is not scary. Back then, it was kind of like a horror game to me. And here we are, 15 years later. And what we're going to do is I'm going to retrace my steps as closely as I can remember. We're going to take a little trip down memory lane. Here we go. If you've never seen the start of Fallout 3, I was just born. That's what happened there. I wasn't flashbanged. I wasn't, ascending to the heavens. I was just born. Also, my dad is Liam Neeson. So I'm pretty sure this is an approximation. This is around about what my character looked like. Just the spitting image of me, man. Like, especially back then, this game literally starts you off as a child. Like, I'm a baby right now. I can't switch the cameras around or go into third person or anything, but I'm a baby right now. That's what's happening. I cannot play the intro to this game anymore. I have a save right outside of the vault because I have done this intro so many times that it sickens me now to do this. But I'm going to do this because this is a trip down memory lane. Now, I didn't know it back then, but you're actually able to interact with the objects and pick them up. If I had known that, I would have spent so much time dicking around with all the different stuff. I'm going to take my ball and we're going to go and read the special book. So this is how you select your special stats in the game. It's a baby's book. It's actually pretty clever. Back then, I had no idea what all of this meant. Like charisma, intelligence. Like I knew what it meant. That just made myself sound stupid. I knew what they meant. I didn't know how they would affect the game. I know I would have put my strength up. I would have been like, yeah, I'm really strong, yeah. I would have looked at perception and gone, I don't know, I've got no idea what that means. So I would have put it to like, I don't know, 4. Endurance, I would have gone, yeah, my endurance is going to be massive, like 7. Charisma, yeah, my charisma is pretty good, I feel like. In real life, my charisma was just, it was peak teenage charisma. Intelligence, on the real, I'm not that smart of a person. So I'd have been like, I don't really need that. Agility, I was not, dude, I was not a quick kid either. So I think I probably would have been like, about that much. And I think I would have put that much into luck. That looks around about how I would have built my character. I feel like, at least in retrospect and looking back at myself, that's what I think teenage me would have picked 15 years ago.
Experiment. Don't be a damn fool. We experiment to prepare. We prepare to survive.
So we fast forwarded a few years. I think I'm 10 years old right now and I'm getting my very own Pip-Boy. What a special time in a young man's life. I'm also going to be picking the dialogue, how I think I would have responded back then. I'm pretty sure the first thing I did in this game was lie to a martyr.
You're such a liar.
And then I'm almost sure I would have said, did you get me a date with Christine Kendall? I'm almost sure I would have said that and I would have thought that was funny as hell.
Gross.
So here we go. We've got our very own Pip-Boy. And I'm pretty sure I just would have been so overwhelmed by all of this information. Nowadays, this is nothing. Like, I've spent so much time playing games. This is nothing. It's a breeze. It's just menus. Back then, my tiny mind would have been absolutely blown. And I think upon looking at the map as well, look how big this is. Obviously not the biggest map in gaming. 15 years ago when I'd never played any video games like this, yeah, I'd say I was freaking out a little bit.
Attention everyone, it's time to cut the cake.
Yes, I would love some cake actually.
Nice Pip-Boy.
Okay, well, you've ruined the day.
Give me
sweet roll you got from old lady Palmer.
I'm almost positive that I gave him this one. Spit on the sweet roll and give it to him. I'm almost sure. That just seems like something that I would have chosen without a hesitation.
Ugh, I don't want your nerd cooties.
So Dad and Jonas have just gave me my very own BB gun. What a birthday this is. I remember, because I had Halo 3 at the same time as Fallout 3, I remember coming to this game from Halo and being like, man, how did that miss? The shooting feels like shit.
I'm the overseer's daughter, so what? Like, I get anywhere.
Hilariously for me, back then, I did not check my surroundings. I think I was just so overwhelmed that I was trying to get through everything as quick as possible. I, unfortunately, and I can remember because I Googled where are the bobbleheads, I did not pick up the medicine bobblehead. So, we're going to leave it behind. What I'm pretty sure I tried to do was hit him with the speech check. I'm pretty sure I did, and I failed it, and I ended up getting in a fight with them. We're going to roll the dice and see what happens here, but if not, we're getting into a fight with Butch.
Like I'm going to listen to a little shrimp like you. Get lost, Poindexter.
He called me a shrimp and a Poindexter in one go. Butch is truly a man amongst men. And there we go. That's it. It's me and you right now. And so we punch on. We punch on just like that.
Okay, you win.
I'm not going to sit through all the questions and I'm not going to put them all in the video because it's a long process. So what we are going to do is quickly skip through this. What would younger Capra say? What would he be picking in his tag skills? 1000%, I would have seen big guns and gone, yeah, dude, that sounds sick. I think I would have seen sneak as well and been like, hell yeah. And I think, trusting me, I would have picked explosives as well. So here we are, 3 years later, something bad's happened. And the first thing that I would have said to Amada was, I was just dreaming about you, 1000%. Dude, that was what I was like back then, 100%. This is exactly what I would have chosen.
Don't be a smart mouth.
So she's just given me a 10mm pistol, and I can remember quite clearly picking, this will come in handy if I run into any of your father's goons.
I hope you're joking.
And this is basically where the actual game begins. I kind of ran through that very quickly and it still took too long. I can't stand the start of this game anymore. I was not great on the sticks back then. And so trying to kill this guy with the gun would have gone so poorly. Oh my god, the Radroaches beat him. I don't think I've ever seen him get beaten by the... Why does it say he's got 2 health bars?
You gotta help me. My mom's trapped in there.
Very nice. This is such a classic Bethesda moment. He's asking if we can go and rescue his mum. Unfortunately, he was an asshole to me for the better part of my whole life. I would have said this irony part.
Yeah, I'm asking you.
And then I would have said, all right, I'll help. I'm almost sure back then his mum died as well because I just couldn't get to her. So that's what's going to happen here. I don't know how you're expected not to save her because they are taking forever. The security guard went down much quicker than her, but I'm positive that I did not reach her in time, or I was fumbling so bad that she died.
She's dead. She's dead, and you could have helped, and you didn't. Be reasonable, Amada.
Now I know for sure that those 2 men standing in there both died on my first playthrough. I killed them both. I don't think I even spoke to this guy before I just started wasting into him.
Stop.
Oh, sounds like Amada just found her dad. Look, man, I don't know what happened.
My god, what have you done?
I didn't do anything.
Killed him.
No.
Why would you kill my father?
I didn't. He fell. If we had sat there for the amount of time that I would have taken back then, we would be here for probably a good 10 minutes. I'd never understood how the hacking game worked. I didn't understand about resetting your tries or eliminating words. And that means that I would not have gone into this locker and seen all of this useful stuff. 120 rounds, stim packs, all of that stuff. Nah, I would have ignored it. I would have just ignored it straight away. I also remember getting stuck in this room specifically. I was stuck here for ages because it's just an empty room. It's either go back through the door or nothing. Like I was stuck here for ages. when in fact all you have to do is hit the switch.
Good, you're leaving. I guess you were trying to help me, but you didn't have to kill him.
Now I think because she wasn't on my side, I immediately just became an asshole to her. I'm pretty sure I just became an asshole and said something like, your father deserved to die, he was a murderer.
Oh, really?
And that's it.
I knew you'd turn up sooner.
Oh, she's running this way. She doesn't do that, does she? And so why does she look like she wants to punch on? She looks like she wants to punch on with me. You want to go? I'll go. And that's it. That's Vault 101. Dunsky. There we go. The most iconic opening. Exiting the vault and being blinded. It's a good comparison to how we were born at the start. I don't know. No. But that is iconic. And then we get our very first level up as well. That level up sound as well. Ooh, doesn't it just hit? I feel like I would have taken Thief and then that would have planted in my mind about sneaking and lockpicking and stealing. I think that's what might have happened. Fallout 3 does this excellent thing at the start of the game where you're able to see basically all of the info you need surrounding you. So you've got Megaton right there. In the distance, you have the DC ruins, so you know that that is eventually going to... I mean, you could go right now to there, but you know that eventually you're going to get there. You also have this tiny little destroyed town of Springvale. You see some highway over there. You know that you can go over there if you need to. You see another little tower over there in the distance. It gives you a lot of information. When I exited the vault for the first time, you know what I did? I didn't take in any of this information. I didn't do any of that. I went straight up this way. I had my little baseball bat with me and I was terrified. I was so scared. I'd seen images of the ghouls. I'd seen images of the super mutants. And every little thing that came out to attack me, well, it scared me. I didn't concentrate on what was out there. I was just concentrated on what was in front of me. And I remember I spent ages just around this area here because I was too scared to continue out into that scary wasteland. It's funny. It's almost like having a non-gamer brain back then for when I started playing this. Because everything terrified me. Everything scared me. I didn't want to fight anything. I was scared of dying. I didn't understand basically how the game worked in a core way. Like I'd never really picked anything up either. I didn't search everything. It's funny. It's funny looking back at it now. The same thing happened. I played Oblivion, didn't understand the core concept of it. Same with Skyrim when it first came out. When I got Skyrim, like I didn't even know it was coming out. Everybody was hyping it up and I was like, what is Skyrim? And I got it and I still fundamentally played it wrong. It wasn't until about 2014 or 15 that I really understood how to play these games, which is embarrassing to say. Now I definitely did eventually make my way into this little town of Springvale. And I remember being absolutely enraptured by this mini eye robot thing. Because I was just like, holy shit, what is this game? That thing's so cool. And I would follow it around. I would just follow it around for ages. Just listening to what it had to say, listening to what was coming out of it. Had no idea what the Enclave were. Had no idea who President Eden was. I was just enraptured by this. Now, of course, when you're down in Springvale, there is a sign right here, Megaton, with a nice arrow pointed up there. Anybody with any sort of game knowledge would just look there and go, I'm going to go there. That looks cool. Not me. I'm pretty sure I got the grenades, like everybody does. I don't think there's many people who miss the frag grenades. I'm pretty sure I got those. I would have seen the safe. I'm almost certain I did, although we might be getting into where my memory's kind of colliding now because I have played this game so many times, but I'm pretty sure I opened the safe. At this point, I'm pretty sure I would have been about 3 hours deep into the game. When I say that I was scared for my life up around that overpass that's broken up there, I would have spent so long creeping around. I perfectly managed to avoid Megaton. I perfectly walk past a house that has silver in it. I remember that I did not go near the school. In fact, I would have probably missed a school because I would have just been walking this way. Back then, me looking around and taking everything in, nah, not something that we would have done at all. And I know for a fact that I saw that little shack up there and I went, how the hell do I get up there? And I'm almost sure that I was getting shot at as well while I was making my way, because I was just like, oh my God, what is happening? What's shooting me? I have to go and get them. And so as I was running this way, I would have been, you know, going through all of my inventory going, oh, what have I got? I've only got a BB gun. I'm going to try it out. Obviously, the BB gun always goes awful, so I'm not going to try it out. I'd have been like, I've got no ammo for anything else. I've got a frag grenade. Maybe I can use that. And so I would have been going, and I would have just been hitting VATs the whole way like this. And then, oh, would you believe I've clocked onto something? And we would have just started lobbing grenades at her. We would have just started throwing them. And just like that, the raider is gone. That was kind of epic, man. That guy's just lobbed a grenade at me as well. He's got the same idea as me. There you go. There's another raider down. I'm almost sure that I would have missed a frag grenade or two by now. So I would have had to resort back to my baseball bat. And I would have just been punching on with them. Not as competently as you see right now. And we're going to recreate exactly what happened here, because I remember clear as day. Oh my God, I'm panicking. Oh, take that. I'm missing all of my shots, and now I've got nothing left. And my health is just draining away, but I'm not really noticing it. No! He's got a sniper rifle already, god damn. And so I would have tried to take him out, smack that out of his hand. That was pretty funny. Oh! Doing my absolute best. I'm just getting lit up. I'm like, oh my God, what's happening? I would have been out of action points as well from all the VATs. And I die. That's what I remember, dying here. And I also had not saved the game for a long time. Obviously, I've made a save here in this game, but back then I would have been at Vault 101, which is essentially the same thing that's happened here. And then I quit the game and didn't play it for a couple more days, because around about this time as well, I got Fable 2. So my whole summer, the Australian summer in Christmas, was spent on Halo 3, Fallout 3, and Fable 2. And at this point, I had put Fallout down because it was too much for my little heart to bear. But I remember when I did get back onto it, I decided that I would not be going that way, because that way sucks. What we do is entirely avoid the bridge, and I would instead be heading towards that bridge and overpass down there. And I remember I came this way. Once again, nothing was catching my eye. I was just concentrating on getting to somewhere new. The compass meant nothing to me at this point as well. All the little notches and markers on it, it just meant nothing. Like, it didn't mean anything. No, number one rule is ignore all information presented to you. And I remember I would then wander around aimlessly for hours and hours, avoiding every enemy in my way, running away from everything. Just me and my little baseball bat, man. When I would come across this area right here. And I think this is where the game really began to, I really began to appreciate it, and I really started to enjoy it. I was still scared out of my mind, but this was the point where I really began to enjoy it. In classic fashion as well, I've got a glitched out compass marker. Apparently there's an enemy right on me. Maybe I'm the enemy. Maybe I've been the enemy the whole time. Now again, I came in here. I would have killed the rad roaches. Probably taken the stim pack. Would have tried to get into the safe and gone, oh, I can't get in there yet. Tried to get into the terminal. Oh, I can't get in there yet either as well. And I would have just walked around and gone, there's nothing in here. There's bottle caps on the counter if you look close enough. I mean, I think at this point I didn't even know what the bottle caps were really for. And then I remember I went down into the metro. I get in and I'm sneaking around and there's someone dead. I'm like, oh, what's going on in here? And so I'm just creeping along and out comes this guy. Now, he scared the hell out of me.
You're not here to try and steal my secrets, are you?
And so I talked to him, and it turns out that this guy, well, he wants sugar bombs. There's a speech check. I would have tried to do it as well.
Nope.
And there you go. This guy's just hanging out here and he wants sugar bombs. Did I know what the hell sugar bombs were? No. I was looking for actual bombs. I didn't realize it was cereal. And I notice there's a door back here. And there's this. Now, I was of course scared because I started taking rads straight away. But I did go down there. And this is where everything changed for me. I was down here and so were these guys. So were the Mirelurks. All I had was my baseball bat. And the same thing happened that happened on the bridge with the raiders. I was killed. I would have rinsed and repeated going through that cave a few times just to die until eventually I would have gone, okay, it's not working. And so I would have just left this metro. And what happened next is why I gave up the game for a little while. I just take off in another direction because I'm like, right, I have to find sugar bombs or whatever. And there's nothing there for me. There's nothing left. I can't kill the Mirelurks. So we're going to go in a new direction. And as you see, I've already discovered that new direction because I was trying to find that place and I couldn't find the subway, but I found it eventually. And so I'm running along. And I see the building in the distance and I'm like, right, okay, what's going to be here? Let's go check it out. And so I'm just running along, I'm minding my own business. All of the stakes and spikes in the ground should be a dead giveaway, especially the body nailed to the wall right there. But I just keep on keeping on. I'm like, how bad can it be here? I freed her. I let her go. I even said, no, you'll need it more than I will.
You're right.
And that's it. She's gone. She's out of there. Now, I don't know where they are. It might have been because I ran too close to this place, but there are meant to be super mutants here. And before I'd even seen a feral ghoul, I had run across an encampment of super muties. And I remember this is where I went, no thank you, I don't want to do this anymore. Super mutants, the idea of them freaked me out. It scared me. They also bodied me. They were really, really strong. They were really powerful. I didn't stand a chance. It's a shame they're not here. I think it's because earlier I ran past the church trying to find the metro. And so they've either wandered off somewhere or just plain despawned. But this is where 15 years ago, I paused my Fallout 3 journey. Now, obviously, I would return to Fallout 3 several times. I think it was only a couple of weeks before I got the itch to play it again because I just couldn't stop thinking about it. But at the same time, I was terrified to load it up. And when I restarted the game, that's when it all clicked into place. That's when I started understanding the systems, the mechanics. I ended up going to Megaton straight away. Believe it or not, I still hadn't noticed this sign painted here. It wasn't a few years later until I figured out that there was a sign there, which is just crazy. And from there, I'd go down to the Super Duper Mart. And I remember my very first, there's a random encounter just up here over the hill. Let's see what we get this time. But my very first time walking to the Super Duper Mart, I had an Enclave officer as my encounter. Like Enclave in power armor with an energy weapon. I will forever remember getting destroyed by that Enclave officer. I also remember seeing the power armor and just losing my mind. I was like, that is so unbelievably cool. So we should have a random encounter any second now, unless, no, yeah, here we go. So our random encounter is...
Get away! They're burning everything! They're all dead! Burned Greyditch right to the ground.
Wow, did they remove Brian Wilkes or whatever his name is from the game and now we just have to deal with that guy? Interesting. There you go. So there's a Greyditch person. Brian Wilkes is down there somewhere waiting for us. The most annoying kid in the Wasteland. I remember hating him immediately. But that was that. 15 years ago, that is how I started off my Fallout 3 journey. I look back at it now and I think, my God, what were you doing? But this was my very first game like this. This was my first open world. This was my first RPG-like game. This was just... And so this is a really special game to me. 18 months later, New Vegas came out and I had another Fallout game that I could play. And now look at the state of it. We haven't had a Fallout game. We haven't had a proper Fallout game in going on 9 years now. Thanks for joining me. This was just a little trip down memory lane. I think I'm going to restart Fallout 3 again. This game is something else. It's incredible. It's really fun. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, then think about subscribing, like the video, all of that shit. And I will see you in the next one. This has been 15 years of Fallout 3. See you later.